Morning everyone, and welcome to day 20 of the 30-day strength challenge. So I want to just start by reminding you all of the raffle draw that I'm doing. So this is to win a £20 gift voucher. So as I mentioned yesterday, all you have to do to be entered is to like this video, comment, and also tag at least 3 of your friends who haven't yet started doing the challenge. If you can do that by 10 o'clock tonight, then I will enter you into the prize draw, and then I will draw the winner out alongside tomorrow's video. So we'll move on to today's exercise. So today we're going to look at what we call plyometric exercises. Now, for those of you who don't know what plyometrics are, they involve rapid movements essentially. So it's like a lengthening of the muscle followed by a rapid shortening of the muscle. And this is to develop elastic energy and power in the muscles, and also to develop that sort of neurological connection between mind and muscle. So I did mention a few days ago that this is going to be a bit more of an ongoing theme for the remainder of the series, because it's all well and good strengthening, just doing general strength, but then actually we want to have a bit of power as well. So if you are involved in any sports which require a lot of speed and power, like sprinting or throwing, or team sports that require a rapid change in speed, then the benefits of this are clearly obvious. But I would also make the argument for the fact that it is important even as an endurance athlete as well. So I mentioned earlier on that endurance runners, they don't tend to do a lot of speed and power based things, so they don't do their sort of plyometrics and their track sessions, etc., and their intervals, and instead they tend to run at that same old sort of steady pace all the while. So in the absence of power, then this is going to have performance implications, because even in a marathon you're going to need that increase of intensity at certain points during the event, such as running up a hill, picking up the pace for the last mile, or even doing a sprint finish. That could easily make the difference between running a PB and not running the PB. So there's the performance implications there, but also from an injury prevention perspective as well, because as a result of not striding out very much and doing that same old steady pace all the while, you end up exercising your muscles through a very limited range of motion, as I mentioned before. And essentially that's like doing a bicep curl, but only doing the movement through that. You'll get very strong in that very limited range just there, but actually overall it's going to be quite weak because you're not doing the full movement like so, and that's obviously what we want to do. And it's the same with the muscles in the lower body as well. So this happens a lot, particularly I find in the posterior chain, but all the major muscle groups really, so the glutes, hamstrings, calves, hip flexors, quads, groin, they all suffer the sort of same fate if we don't actually start extending them out and running quicker. In fact, in the clinic, I've seen several people who can't even clench their butt cheeks at all. So they can't actually activate those glutes, which means that they've actually lost the use of one of their major muscle groups. So obviously that is quite a serious thing to have happened through their bad habits. So by doing these exercises, it's going to allow us to stride out a bit more, and make it easier to use these muscles while we're running, because we're going to be using these rapid movements, which is going to activate the muscles through a much wider range and really utilize this triple extension that I keep talking about, where the glutes, the quads and the calves, and also the foot muscles, they're all sort of extending out. So what we're going to do is we're going to revisit our squat technique. Now, if we think about our squat technique again, obviously I introduced the deeper squats to you a few days ago. So we want our feet just to be over shoulder width apart, just over shoulder width apart. Our feet are going to be pointing slightly out turned as well. And of course, when we go down, we want to engage our glutes by pushing our bum back, keeping our back as straight as we can, and squeezing our core. And then obviously we want our knees to be tracking over our feet, which is why they're out turned. So essentially like this. Okay. Now today we're not going to go down into a full deep squat like we did the other day, sort of like this, because the problem is, unless you're very experienced and very sort of strong with your power, when we start jumping up and doing the half squat jump like so, if we go down too far, we're not going to get back up again. It's going to be harder to get back up the more we go down, okay? So unless you're very powerful and very strong and you've got that development through that big range of motion, then I would recommend doing, starting off in a half squat or even a 1/3 squat, so you don't have to go down very far at all. As long as you're getting that nice triple extension when you come up, because essentially I'd rather you go down to here and then you come up and you really get off the floor and therefore use that specific triple extension movement than try and go all the way down to here and then only get up to about here or something like that, okay? So we want to really extend those muscles out, so when we're running, it's going to help us to activate those muscles. It's going to develop those fast twitch muscle fibers so that we can run faster, and it's going to improve this mind muscle connection and help to activate these muscles through a better range. So I recommend doing around a half squat for that reason. So essentially what we're going to do, remember to use our arms, and we're going to do some explosive movements, okay, while maintaining the squat technique. Now, important point is for when you land, don't spend half an hour on the floor before you spring back up again, okay? It wants to be rapid so that we can utilize that and develop that elastic energy. So it's no good doing it sort of like this and then going, oh, and then sort of limbering up again and trying to get back up. It's got to be bam, bam, bam as soon as you land, okay? So more like this. Okay, so it's quite an explosive, energetic movement. Now, if you do have injuries and you want something a bit more low impact, then just don't come off the floor. So you can just do a normal half squat, but really focus on pushing up through those heels. So it should feel, you should be doing it so quickly that it should feel as though those heels want to come off the floor as you come up. Okay, so that's a low impact alternative for you. Okay, so see how you get on with that, see how many you can do before you start to lose your technique. Okay, see how many essentially until failure. So if you struggle to go down very far, or if your squatting technique starts to deteriorate as well, that's a good time to stop, or if obviously you're not jumping as high as before. So remember to comment, like and everything. Remember the raffle draw, and take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 21.